everybody, how's it going? This is Louis Librarian and welcome to another episode of Vegan Kitchen. Today we're going to learn how to make vegan Chinese dumplings. This is something I actually learned while teaching English in China for a whole year, so I hope you like what I have prepared for you. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and create the filling for the dumplings. We're going to use a standard food processor. I was thinking I usually like to have snow peas, some scallions, maybe some carrots, some ginger, and a clove of garlic. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and drop the garlic in there. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe 2 scallions, maybe 3 scallions. Why not? Let's go crazy. So I'm going to cut off those ends over there. Toss that over there. Put in the blender. Yeah, that might be extra garlic. I'm just going to take a little bit out because that's a lot. And I'm going to take one little carrot. This is a tiny little carrot. And I got the clove. Let's get some snow peas in there. But what I like to do with the snow peas, they usually come with like this little hard piece right there. I like to cut those off. And especially if there's any parts that might be just slightly spoiled. Cut those things off. Put that one off. Let's see how we're doing with these. Yep, let's put that. Alright, and you know what? I forgot to grab cabbage. Let me grab some cabbage. And ooh, we're going to take a piece of ginger. I'm thinking you don't want too much and everything. Something like this, maybe even a little bit smaller, will be sufficient. If you want to go ahead and grind it up on a shredder, you're welcome to do so. But this food processor does a really good job of pulverizing everything. So let me grab some cabbage really quick. There we go. Nice big head of cabbage. Recommend organic if you can. And I'm thinking maybe like 1 or 2 leaves ought to do it just fine. Whatever we could fit in there. Oh, I don't like the hard parts of the cabbage. That little spine that sticks out is really thick. So there we go. I got that. Yes, I got everything in there. And let's go ahead and chop it up. Sometimes you gotta pulsate it in order for everything to kind of go down. There we go. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, that's nice and blended. Cool. Alright, so that's the veggies. Okay, now we need to get our source of protein. So once I pop that out of there we go. Take that out. I'm going to put it in a nice little bowl over here. Set that to the side. Smell that garlic and the ginger and the scallions. Okay, so we got our source of protein here. Since I am vegan, pure vegetarian, I use tofu for a lot of my, especially Asian cuisines. I have this organic one from Sprouts. It's a pretty good deal. I think it was under $2, which is really nice. We're going to go ahead and take out all the water. The water keeps it nice and fresh. So if there's ever any portion of your package of tofu that you don't want to cook just yet, just make sure you put it in some Tupperware and put some fresh water in it, okay? Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut this up in little cubes because it just makes it easier to cook in the frying pan. And the reason why I'm not putting this raw inside the food processor is because it just gives it better, I think, texture and flavor if I fry it first and then blend it. Cubes. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and take this tofu over here to this other counter over here. Okay, on the stove, I'm going to use a combination of vegetable oil. I believe actually this is canola oil, and just a little bit of sesame oil because it gives it a wonderful extra dimension of flavor. So I put just enough to kind of lightly coat the bottom here. So right around there. And then a little bit less when it comes to sesame oil because a little bit goes a long way when it comes to flavor. Okay, we're going to go ahead and heat that. I'd say between 5 and 6, so a little bit medium high. All right, we're going to go ahead and let that heat up. And when it just starts to smoke just a little bit, that's when it's ready to start cooking. Okay, so the oil is starting to smoke just a little bit. You can always tell when it's just about ready because the oil just kind of slips across the pan evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tofu. Now you want to be careful because tofu has a lot of water in it, and so when it gets hot you don't want it to splash, so be careful. So matter of fact, if you meanwhile you want to get your top, see, you hear that? Alright, here we go. Alright, let's put that cover on there. And get these other missing rogue tofu there. There we go. And then I want to make sure that all the oil is spread nice and evenly among all the tofu, so I'm going to go ahead and spread that out while shielding myself and my wife holding the camera. There we go. Alright, now it's not popping anymore, so I'm going to make sure all the oil is kind of evenly spread out there. Alright, nice. So now I want to make sure I get as many pieces touching the actual pan itself because I want it to get a little bit golden brown. And I'm just going to let that cook, and I'm going to turn on the vent on low so that way I don't smoke up the house. Alright, so here's a little quick tip. Sometimes the tofu has like a lot of water in it, so it's really good to squeeze it, which I didn't do a good job about earlier, but that's fine. Sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll lift the top just a little bit while the vent is on, so that way it kind of absorbs into the vent, and that way the water will evaporate quicker. Just wanted to include that little quick tip. Okay, so while the tofu is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make the Jamaican Chinese dipping sauce. And the reason why I call it Chinese Jamaican dipping sauce because I know a restaurant owner up in Lakeland who is actually from Jamaica, but he is of Chinese descent. And so he taught me a great way to, oh my gosh, it's so good. Can't wait to show you. So what I did, I cut up some cilantro. And what we're going to do is we're going to chop up maybe like a half a clove of garlic. You don't want to put too much, you don't want to overpower it, so I'll probably just cut half a clove. And I'm going to shred a little bit of ginger. So let's go ahead and get the ginger ready. Here we go. I'd say maybe about a half a tablespoon. I'll do it. Yeah, that's more than plenty right here. So about this amount right here is good. But you just do it to taste, whatever's convenient for you. And I think that'll do it for there. Move that off to the side. Let's go ahead and cut up this garlic. I apologize to you professional chefs out there. I'm sure there is a much more professional way to cut this. But I learned by doing. I didn't go to a professional vegan school because I don't know of any, except for one in Oregon. Sound like they're pretty amazing, but I'm an experimenter. I like to learn wherever I travel. Alright, I think that's a pretty good size. I like to chop it up in tiny little pieces so I can get all that nice little raw flavor. I know some people like to buy those little jars that have the garlic already pre-cut and everything, but just the flavor, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. That's just my opinion. Alright, so we're going to put some of that in there. So we got some ginger, we got some garlic, we got some cilantro. Now we're going to go ahead and take some soy sauce. This is the less sodium one, which is kind of redundant because I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. Kind of covers the bottom. There we go. And then, next item, we're going to go ahead and take some apple cider vinegar. You can use some white vinegar if you like, but I like the flavor of the apple cider vinegar. And we're going to pour that in there. There we go. Now, right now, by itself, that's going to be a little bit strong, so one of the things I like to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of water. So I'm going to go over here and just water it down just a little bit, so that way it's just not overpowered with all the sodium from the soy sauce and the strength of the apple cider vinegar. And then, so the twist was the cilantro, and the secret is the little organic brown sugar. This is organic coconut sugar, but that's okay, it works just as well. And just a spoonful ought to do it. I'm thinking right about there. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in there. We're gonna mix it really good. And I cannot wait to dip into that with some dumplings. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, and that's that. That's ready to go. Okay, so as you can see here, it's, some of the tofu is starting to brown. That's one side, so I want to make sure I'm flipping over all the big pieces, so that way both sides get cooked thoroughly. And sometimes this does take a little bit of patience because the pieces are so small. There we go. Flip that around a little bit. Yeah, sure. There we go. It's looking good. Now, at this point, I can go ahead and start seasoning it with one of my favorite ingredients. This is garlic powder. And lightly with maybe some Himalayan salt or whatever salt you prefer. Say that's the one the healthiest. There you go. Mix it up a little bit more. Oh, it's smelling really good. Anything with garlic and salt just makes it taste so much better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover that one more time and keep the vent on. Okay, so it looks like our tofu is nice and brown. Ready to go. And it tastes delicious. Woo, nice and hot. There we go, and it's ready to go into the food processor. Stand by. Alright, don't forgive me, I am a picker. I like to taste my food before it goes into anybody else's mouth. Stand by. We're going to go ahead and take the tofu. Now we're going to put it in the little food processor here. There we go. Just about got it. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get that chopped up. Alright, into little crumbles. Nice, perfect. Let's go take that out. Just unplug that. Don't want anybody getting electrocuted. Woo! Alright, that's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix it with the veggies here. Not want not. Okay, and where's my little mixer here? Go. Mix the veggies with the tofu. A nice blend of your veggies and your protein. Good carbs and good protein. Nice and light in the system. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and later on I'm going to grab little spoonfuls. I have a tablespoon here, so that way it's going to give me a nice rounded scoop of filling. So that way I'm going to put it right on top of the dough like that. So stand by, that's what's coming next. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make the actual dough for the dumpling. So that just basically all you need is some all-purpose flour. I have like a little cup here of water, and I'm going to put like a little bit of salt in there, probably like half a tablespoon. There we go, we're going to mix it up really good. You can use your finger if you like. Voila, because you're going to be dipping in there a lot. I recommend getting like a little round cup with a nice wide mouth round cup, because when I roll the dough nice and thin, a little bit thicker I'd say than a library card. Hey, see, I got the library plugged in there. Do you like that? Alright, we're going to use this to make perfect little circles for our dumplings. Because if you try to do it manually, I realize it turns into a disaster. You throw it into the boiling water and it just falls apart. Whereas if you make nice little perfect circles, it tends to stay together better. And of course you got your trusty little rolling pin. So that way you get it nice and flat. And I forgot water. I need water. I'm just going to put a little bit of water. And I probably should have got a spoon from somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead and start making some dough. And you want it to be a nice thick Play-Doh type consistency. It's forming nicely. And this is the part where I take off my ring because I don't want the dough getting all inside my ring. That's just me. I do the same thing when I take a shower because I just don't like a bunch of soap inside my ring either. Okay. Now I like to get my hands nice and dirty. Okay, now one things I'm going to need, I'm going to go ahead and flour the surface of the table. Stand by, there we go. And I'm just going to do that, there we go, spread it around nice and even. Let's see how it's doing. I probably just need a little bit of flour because it's a little too sticky. We don't like that. Just kind of mash it down until it has a nice little Play-Doh-like consistency. I haven't played with Play-Doh since I was a little kid. It's amazing the types of toys that they make now. You can make like hamburgers and ice cream cones and stuff, only you can't eat it. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have a glow-in-the-dark Play-Doh. Do they? I wonder. It's not like there's a Toys R Us nearby, but then again, I imagine Target probably has a lot of Play-Doh products, right? Okay, it's really sticking to me. That's okay, no worries. So we're gonna kind of put this off to the side, and we're gonna keep kneading it. There we go. I bet you some of you watching this probably got a lot of skills, you know, baking and rolling the dough. Probably can give me some pointers. I welcome all feedback, all constructive feedback. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this, and I'm gonna cut this into slices, little pieces. These are gonna be my individual dough for the dumplings. There we go. I like to roll it into like a cigar, as if I was gonna make some bread. That's something I haven't made in a while. Some vegan garlic French bread. Oh. Carbs are the enemy, but they taste so good. All right, where's my knife? There it is. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that. There we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dumplings. All right, we'll see how much we actually really have once we start rolling them out. Okay, so we're gonna start with this one. I just need a little bit of flour. There we go. And go ahead and it's like pre-spreading it by moving it in a circle. Just kind of spreading it out with your fingers. There you go. Once you have a nice and flat, you can go ahead and start using your roller. And like I said, you want it to be a little bit thicker than, like, say, a library card or a credit card. Just get a little bit more flour there. Oops, it's sticking. I just let it roll along the pin, the pin itself. Ah, okay, yeah, still a little too sticky, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour, no worries. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's see if that'll behave a little bit better. There we go, that's a little bit better. It's not sticking too much. Very glad that I got to teach this class because it's been a while since I've made dumplings. So it's always a nice little treat at my home. I've made them for my wife boiled, but I haven't made them fried. I'm going to show you how to do them both ways. Alright, so we got decent size. Let me see if that's big enough. Not quite, a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go, nice. That is a good size. I'm going to go ahead and take my trusty little cup here, and I'm just going to kind of cut that out. There we go. Peel away the other parts that I don't need. Maybe I'll use that to make another dumpling in just a moment. There we go. We got our first little thing here. Let's do the next one. We'll add in some dough. Spread it out. That's why I took my ring off. Have it covered in dough. I know some people like to put a little bit of salt in the actual dough itself, but I figure it's going to have enough sodium. This dish is going to have enough sodium as it is with all the soy sauce and all the salt that I put in the tofu. Alright, there we go. That's nice, perfect, perfect. Where's my cup? There it is. Let's go ahead and cut this out. There we go. Let's take off the excess. I think we're going to have room for another dumpling. Sweet. Put that off to the side. Let's do the next one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make another dumpling over here. Make a nice little ball here and just kind of flatten it out. Take your fingers, spread it out nice and slowly. You're going to make it nice and flat. Make it easier for the roller. And this is like very soothing. It's kind of therapeutic. You know, just making these little dumpling covers here. There we go, and roll it out. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Again, a little bit bigger than a credit card or a library card. Let's cut that out. Peel off the edges. Circle here. Oop, 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 don't stick. There we go. Great. Let's do another one. Nice little ball here. And push. Mush. Yeah, one of my students, their parents invited me to dinner one particular night, and they were making some Chinese dumplings for me, and I was like, oh, I gotta learn how to do this. And so they were amazed because, I don't know, I guess they don't expect guys to cook. I was an eager learner because I definitely wanted to make sure I was able to do this back home. My family's from Puerto Rico, so it's mostly, you know, Hispanic type dishes. And I'm used to a lot of American cuisines, but nothing like this when it comes to Chinese cuisine. Matter of fact, when I was given the choice to teach English either in China or Japan or Korea, I chose China because I like their food better. Not to take anything away from Japan or Korea, I know they have some really good stuff, but I don't eat raw fish, and I'm not a big fan of kimchi. What can I say? Alright, so this was actually the leftovers for some of the other dumplings, so that was enough to make another one. Sweet! Very excited. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, nice. Let's go ahead and smush that. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let me make a better ball here. It's just like playing with Play-Doh, except you get to eat it. There we go. Kneading and squeezing and turning it around and around so it kind of maintains its circle shape there. Do a little bit of powder because it's sticking. There we go. I had to do it another vegan kitchen when I make a Chinese stir fry. Ooh, man, well, actually it's American stir fry because Chinese people don't actually make it like this. Typically when you go to a Chinese restaurant in China, they don't mix their foods. Everything's like in a separate bowl all by itself. Whereas Americans, we like to mix our ingredients, and that's totally fine. There we go. All right, there we go. That one came out really good. Now make a nice little circle, cut out the edges. Voila. Nice, perfect. Let's do 2 more. Okay, that's good. Okay, so as you can see here, a half a cup of flour was able to make 10 wraps for the dumplings. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and, you know what, I think that this one that might still work. Let me just double check over here. Yeah, we're gonna go with the 1 teaspoon and we're gonna see if it works. So we're gonna go ahead and take a little scoops over here. We're gonna round it out, flatten it out. There we go. We're gonna put it right in the middle. Pow. Just like that. There we go. It's nice and even. It's not bouncing around everywhere. 1, 2, 3. That sound effect is necessary for it to work properly. 1, 2, 3. Go. Nice and flat. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna have plenty of filling left, so I can make some more dumplings, or I could just make a nice little stir fry where I can eat it with some rice. Excess over there, and 1, 2, 3, flip. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, see, and sometimes it does not cooperate, and that's okay. You can always kind of push it back to the center. There we go. And the downside of being left-handed, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, darn it. I didn't do my kung fu sound, that's why I messed up. 1, 2, 3. Nope, see, it's still messed up. That's right. No worries. It's all gonna come out great. 1, 2, 3, last one. Ah, perfection. Oh, sort of. Come out. Come out. There we go. Okay, great. So now we have 10 dumplings. We've got the fillings in all of them. Now, how do we seal them? Now, if you remember, I had this little sauce bowl here with a little bit of water, and I poured some salt in there. Plenty of salt is fine. The reason why I'm putting salt in the water is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip my finger in here, and I'm going to go ahead and moisten the edge of each one of these dumplings, because it allows it to seal. Glue together, if you will. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and gonna fold that over like this. And then we're going to take our fingers and we're going to kind of make like these little ridges here. Kind of like you would on an apple pie, which was coincidentally my first vegan kitchen thing here. There we go. Pow. We're going to go ahead and seal that like that. There we go, so that's cooperating, yay. We're gonna do the next one. Over here, we're gonna go along the edges. I gotta move that little tofu, it's in my way. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and flip it over. Make it into like a half moon. Ooh, and I can feel that this skin was a little bit on the thin side, but that's all right. We're gonna work with what we got. There we go. Sometimes you might have to like fold it over in order for it to stick and cooperate. Let's do the next one. Go along the edges here, like that. Fold it over and oh, tofu is going everywhere, but that's all right. No worries. We got this. Actually, I'll kind of push that back. There we go. And sometimes if you need to, if you find that it's too thin at the edge, I'll take like a little bit of flour and I'll put it on the edge over here and I'll kind of press it down. So it just gives it a little bit more doughiness. No worries that it's covered in dry flour because we are in fact going to go ahead and boil these. Go that way, we know that it seals nicely. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of these and we'll get right back to you. Okay, so we were able to make our 10 dumplings, and I do apologize, they're not all aesthetically amazing like this one, and well, kind of like that one. But it might depend. I haven't done this in a while and everything, so this is just gonna, you know, you just need to practice as often as you can. And I'm gonna go ahead and take that. I'm gonna put them in here. And there's two ways you can make dumplings. You can fry them or you can boil them. So I'm gonna do a little bit of both. We're gonna boil these. You can go ahead and follow me over here. And I already have a boiling pot of water over here, so we're gonna go ahead and drop these in there. Just let them slide. There you go. We're gonna let that boil for about a minute. And then I also have about a cup of ice water. Because once after it cooks for about a minute, you want to go ahead and pour that in there. It gives it like a nicer texture. They never really explained to me why, you know, they do that beyond the texture aspect of it. I don't know if it keeps it also a little bit more firm, which is useful when you're eating it. You don't want it to fall apart. And so we're going to do that 3 times. We're going to take, you know, 3 cups of ice water, and we're going to pour it in there once it starts boiling again. Okay, so we're just going to give it about a minute. Okay, so as you can see here, it's been boiling for about a minute and the dumplings are starting to float to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take the ice water and just pour it in there. And then once it starts boiling again, I'll do it 2 more times. So just like before, it started boiling, all the dumplings are rising to the top. The last time I accidentally put the ice cubes in there, I didn't mean to do that, so I took them out this time. I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in there. And they might sink a little bit to the bottom, but then I'm going to let it boil 1 more time and then put the last cup of ice water. Alright, last time. This is the 3rd cup of ice water, and we're just going to let it do its thing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead to the frying pan over here, and we're going to get some oil. Make sure you have a nice helping of oil there covering the bottom. Because now we're going to take the other ones, we're going to go ahead and fry them. And I still love the flavor of the sesame oil. You may or may not, I don't know. So I'll just put just a little bit in there. About a tablespoon, I think. And we're going to go ahead and let that heat up. I'd say just about the same temperature I had for the tofu, between 5 and 6, which is like medium high. Okay, so we're going to take these last 5 here. And we're going to go ahead and fry these. There we go. Just lay these down nicely. Now keep in mind, these actually might taste better than the boiled ones, but because of the oil, of course they can be a lot more dense in terms of calories. You can use a fork, or you can use one of these. Kind of tip them over a little bit. I'm going to wait until they kind of cook a little bit. Fried goodness. Let's take a look now. Yeah, it's getting nice and solid there. Just feel the texture already. Nice and crispy. Put that one over. That was probably the most beautiful one. Again, it takes practice. You know, just getting the filling just the right amount and then being able to seal it. Flip over, please. Thank you all. I might hold on to this oil and go make some plantains for like tomorrow or something. That sounds really good, actually. It'll go really well with burgers. And vegan burgers, of course. I'm just going to give that a couple more minutes until they're nice and lightly golden brown. Alright, yeah. So it looks like, ooh, they're getting nice and golden brown. I'm going to make sure that both sides of each one is cooked thoroughly. Careful there that you don't burn yourself with the oil. There we go, that is looking nicely. Oh, they're so much better. Everything tastes better fried except for Oreos, in my opinion. I tried that for the first time, I'm like, ugh. It was like a heart attack in a cookie. Give that another minute or less and that'll be ready to go. Alright, so here's the final product. Half of it is fried, the other half is boiled. And you're going to take your nice, you gotta have your chopsticks, that way you can have an authentic Chinese experience. You're going to dip it in your little Jamaican Chinese dipping sauce there. So good. So good. Oh my gosh. I hope you enjoyed the experience. Let me know if you do actually make this. If you have any questions, let me know. Email me. And we look forward to having you in the next vegan kitchen. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking with my mouth full. See you next class. Bye-bye.